Good morning, Bobcats. Today we have the final show of Try 2 for you today with stories from around our community.
Before getting into our show, make sure to support our program in the last few days of our t-shirt and hat fundraiser with this QR code. The shirts were designed by journalism students and all funds raised will go directly toward our program. You have until this Friday to get this exclusive Sage Creek gear.
Today we will take a look at the recent increase of snails on campus,
Hear about students' dream vacations,
recap the drama department's recent productions of Into the Woods,
and preview our upcoming sports events.
Let's roll the intro.
It seems like every time it rains, our campus gets overrun by snails.
I know, I'm worried I'll crush one of them with each small step.
Well, let's learn a little bit more about them.
Here's Austin Ju and Helen Howe with a story all about snails.
Snails, you know them, and they are everywhere. Known by the scientific name,
Cornuaspersum.
garden snails have begun popping up at home and on campus with all of the rainfall these past couple of weeks.
Snails are part of the phylum Mollusca, and then within Mollusca, they are gastropods, and so they have a hard shell and like a slug body for movement.
Many have questioned, where did they come from and what did they do?
They just show up all the time. I don't really mind them, although they're a little annoying when you step on them.
Personally, I think there's some value to the snails, but I'm not sure what it is. Right now, personally, I think they're a nuisance to me.
I don't want to kill them, and I don't want to get it on my shoe. I feel awful.
If you step on them, it gets kind of messy, so I don't like them. I like them when I don't see them, you know what I'm saying?
One of the worst feelings in the world is when you step and you hear that crunch. And it's like, oh no. So I always try to be very cautious after rain.
According to our research, sites like Aptiv.com explain that snails are only active during the rain because of the requirement for moisture to survive, which means they are free to move around during said rain.
While snails may not be harmful towards humans, they sure can be harmful towards the plants.
Snails like to eat plants, and so they're not really good for gardens because they'll eat the leaves and flowers of it, and so you kind of want to avoid snails in your garden area.
Snails still require moisture to survive, so they can't be in the sun. That means as the rain begins to disappear, so will the sight of snails on campus. But it doesn't mean they're not there. Reporting for The Sage, this has been Austin Ju and Helen Howe.
Well, the students certainly had a lot to say about the snails.
But all that talk about on campus makes me excited for an off-campus vacation.
For sure, I could really use a trip to Canada right now, eh?
And I could use a trip to Hawaii. Let's see where our other students want to go and maybe even to space.
Connor Gamelin and Wesley Bodensteiner are here on the street with the details.
Hey Bobcats, I'm Wesley Bodensteiner, and today I'm going to be asking people travel questions. If you could travel to anywhere in the entire world, where would you go?
Italy.
Why?
Because I want to go to Rome and see the Colosseum.
I don't think I would go anywhere. California is a really nice place to be.
I would go to Tijuana because I love Tijuana, like this.
Dubai.
China.
Why?
See, it's like a rich land over there, you know? Mad money, parties, you know what I mean?
It's my homeland.
I'll go home.
I would travel to Jamaica.
Australia.
Why?
I've always wanted to go to Australia. They got everything. They got waves, they got desert, East Coast, West Coast. I've always wanted to go to Australia.
If you could make a space colony on any planet, which one would you choose?
I think the best planet to have a space colony on would be Pluto, even though it's not a real planet.
Oh yeah, why would Pluto be the best?
Because it's really far away, so then you don't have to do any politics and stuff. I can be all alone.
Uranus.
I would go to the moon so I can have all the aliens. Mars.
The moon?
I'd go to Pluto.
What about you?
I go to Mars.
Definitely Mars.
This has been Wesley Bodensteiner and Connor Gamelin reporting for The Sage.
Those destinations were certainly interesting.
Yeah, they were. Did you end up seeing the musical last weekend?
Yeah, I did. It blew me away.
Now I wish I'd gone.
Here are Samuel Dougherty and Leila Adams with a recap of the performances.
My best friend Athena is playing the baker's wife, and to get really into her role, she went and ran in the woods because I'm not kidding.
While some actors literally crawled into the woods, last week, an audience experienced a glimpse of Sage Creek Theater's adventurous and creative work. Mrs. Porter, the drama and technical theater teacher, was looking forward to this special performance of Into the Woods.
To begin is a collection of a lot of fairy tales, and we see a whole plethora of fairy tales come together for happily ever after or for not.
The actors studied hard to prepare for the event. However, it took many hours of organizing and planning for the show to become a masterpiece.
Well, the hardest part was singing the songs. I have like 5 to 6 solo songs, and they're all hard vocally, but luckily I have a great voice teacher who helped me learn how to sing them well and healthily. You really just have to learn how to physically embody your character. You need to do a lot of research. First of all, I know that I watched, first of all, the show Into the Woods before I performed the role, and I really took a deep dive into why my character does what she does, and then also how that will portray physically in her walk or the way she speaks or the way her face moves.
After the long event, the actors were proud of their hard work and dedication to their craft. This is Samuel Daher and Leila Adams reporting for The Sage.
Our drama department always does an amazing job with the plays.
It really made me feel like I was into the woods.
Speaking of VAPA, the Sage Creek Music Department's spring concert is this Friday, March 1st, in the Performing Arts Center at 7 p.m.
Tickets can be purchased on GoFan app or website and cost $10 for general admission or $8 with an ASB sticker. Go show your support.
Next up is a sports segment with all the information about important games and the start of the spring season.
Let's see what's coming up with Hadley Golden and Juliette de Alicia.
Hey Bobcats, this is Hadley Golden bringing you sports for this week. Varsity baseball lost against Great Oak 4-5 last Saturday. They had a game on Tuesday at 3:30 versus San Diego Academy. They have a game tomorrow at home versus Murrieta Mesa. Varsity softball won against Rancho Buena Vista 4-3 last Thursday. They lost against Carlsbad 4-2 last Saturday. Today, boys volleyball has a game versus Bonita Vista at home. Come out and support. As always, you can purchase your tickets on GoFan.com or for free with an ASB sticker. This has been Hadley Golden and Juliette Delicio reporting for The Sage.
Before we wrap up today's show, we are saddened to share that last weekend, the assistant coach of Sage Creek's freshman baseball team, Riley Cox, passed away.
We would like to share our deepest condolences to Coach Cox's family and to all the students and staff members who personally knew him.
Thank you so much for tuning in to this week's show for The Sage.
Stay up to date with our latest articles at thesagenews.com and follow our Instagram, TikTok, and X at The Sage Publication.
Have a great rest of your week. This has been Holden Kopman
and Jacob Dougherty with The Sage.